Hey guys, Melissa here, Cupcake Stitcher. Welcome back for my fourth video. You think I would have a hard time, or a really easy time, counting the number of videos I've done, but obviously not. So, fourth video, got a lot to do today, and not much to do it. I wanted to do this video earlier when there was better light, so I apologize because it's like 8:30, 8:45 at this point. I've had a super busy day. But I wanted to get this done today because this is when I said I was going to do my giveaway. So hopefully you all had a chance to go back and comment on my last video as to what cupcake recipe you wanted. And of course, there's always some stitchy goodness along with that as well. But we're going to get right down into it. Again, if I remember how, I will put up here where the stitchy stuff comes in. But we're going to go through some life updates first. So I think the last time I saw you, I had just gone to a Blue Jackets game with my mom the previous night. Not much happened that next week. We did family pictures the following weekend on Saturday. My brother's being deployed at the end of the month, end of April, and so my mom obviously wants pictures of the whole family. So we did that. She said we got some good ones. She said the best one, my eyes are like, and I'm the only one that's screwing up the picture, which is classic Melissa, but whatever. And then we went out to dinner for her birthday, which wasn't until the following Thursday, but we were all there at the house, all had the day off of work, so we were like, why not? So we went out to dinner, and that was awesome. Can't remember what I did the next day. My weekends is when stuff normally goes down for me, so then that Wednesday is normally my day off from work, I did some shopping. And I was like, well, we really need to get my mom a gift. And my brother and my sister and I always go in together. So we found her some nice garden stuff and then decided to surprise her with Dairy Queen ice cream cake and pizza, and just hung out at the house for a little bit later that night. She was super happy about that. So she kind of got 2 birthday dinners, which was nice. And then that next weekend would have been Easter weekend. I worked on Saturday, which sucked. I can't really complain. I work this year 1 weekend. So I work in an outpatient setting. We are normally not open on the weekends, but the hospital obviously never closes. And so we help cover the hospital shift on the weekend. And most of the time there's one PT. He literally does like every other weekend. He's semi-retired, and when I say he's deaf, like he's pretty much deaf. He has cochlear implants, and so the outpatient setting's too much for him. He really likes the hospital setting. So he tries to take as many weekends as he can, and we're really fortunate on the PT side of things. The physical therapy assistants aren't quite as lucky as the PTs, but most of the time he takes my weekends too, but he was on vacation. So I worked, started with a good patient, ended with a good patient. In the middle, there was 1 or 2 not so good patients, but started and ended on a high note. So not too bad. And I got out of there relatively early. And then Sunday was obviously Easter. Went over to my parents' house. Obviously my nephews were there. So, you know, we took the older one out and did Easter egg hunt. I'm really happy he started calling me Issa. Melissa is obviously a really hard name for a 2-year-old to say. So I'm Issa. I'm super excited about it now that I actually have a name. The best name though is my dad. He now gets called Polka. Don't know where it came from. Normally we're like, Dominic, go give this to Grandpa. And now it's Polka. So my dad actually thinks it's kind of cool. His dad passed away 10 or 11 years ago. We always called him Papa growing up. But his friends, my grandpa's friends, called him Coca. Not sure why or where it came from, but that was his nickname. So Polka is kind of a combination of the two. So my dad really isn't too upset about it. But I don't think he likes us calling him Polka. But he's okay with Dominic doing it. So that was Easter week. And then Thursday, the following Thursday, which was last week, my brother and I went to a Blue Jackets game. Pretty much they had to win or tie to clinch their spot in the playoffs, which they did. They tied Pittsburgh. It was a great game. They stayed ahead of Pittsburgh pretty much the entire time. Pittsburgh tied it up right at the end. They went into overtime and they ended up losing, but the way the point system works, as long as they tie, they still get 1 point, which is all they needed to get into the playoffs. Sorry if you're not a sports fan. College football, Ohio State Buckeyes, obviously. And then the Columbus Blue Jackets are about the two teams that I follow in terms of sports. So, and then this past weekend was really crazy for me. I took a continuing education course for physical therapy. It was a dry needling course, which many people have not heard of before. If you've heard of acupuncture, it's similar to that, kind of a different premise, but a lot of the points that even dry needlers use are acupuncture points. It was a great course, but it was mentally exhausting. You know, sometimes in the physical therapy world, our CEU courses are physically exhausting just because, you know, we're having to move our bodies or learn new techniques or, you know, learn how to assist patients to do something, or just going through exercises ourselves. This one, not so much, not very physically demanding, mentally draining though. I mean, the guy teaching the course he is a PT and he has a PhD, but he also has like a master's in neuroscience or something. He's insane. He reminded me of Owen Wilson. He kind of looked like Owen Wilson. He kind of talked like Owen Wilson, but then the words that came out of his mouth were like at a not Owen Wilson level. Like, it was above my head. But that was pretty much all weekend. So the course started on Friday. I went with one other physical therapist from our clinic, and one of our other PTs, her sister was there. She's an occupational therapist. And it was an upper extremity course, so that really worked well for her because obviously she deals a lot with hands and wrists and elbows. So it was very helpful and informative for her. But the course was 12 to 8 on Friday. We did have to work a little bit in the morning, so I did like 7:30 to 10:30 at work. And then the class ended up actually being in my hometown, which is weird because Marysville is not like the hub of Ohio. It was supposed to be, I think, in Columbus, and then a contract fell through or something, and it ended up being in Marysville. So it was literally like 5 minutes from my house, which was great, which means I could just roll out of bed as late as possible on the weekend and get to class on time. So 12 to 8 on Friday, 8 to 6:30 on Saturday, and 8 to 3:30 on Sunday. So that was my whole weekend. And then I went back to work on Monday. I have just been exhausted. Today is my first day off. So I did sleep in a little bit, probably longer than I should have. I just been putting things off. And then I had a ton of running to do because I had my first cake class last week. That one went well. It was just kind of an information session. He decorated a cake in front of us and then, gave us homework and stuff. So since I didn't have a ton of time over the weekend to go track down supplies, that's what I did today. Then I had to make a cake and ice the cake, and normally I don't have any problems icing a cake. This was a different recipe, so the frosting was a little bit different consistency. It just kept falling off the side of my cake. It was just a disaster. And I was like, I'm over this. And then I just got home from the class. And my cake didn't turn out too bad. I'm a perfectionist, so I wanted it to look exactly right, and my rosebuds just weren't cutting it for me. Everyone else is like, oh, it looks so good. My cake did look good compared to some of the other cakes. But, everyone's on a learning curve. Obviously, I've done this before, so I don't want to say I have an advantage, but I have a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, busy day, busy weekend. Oh yeah, and I gave my coworker a black eye. So one of the protocols for needles was for headaches, and you actually put needles in the face, and one of them goes like kind of on the side of the face. Like obviously I don't want you to go stick a needle in your face. Please don't do that. But one kind of goes, oh, look, I'm holding a gun in my head, but kind of in towards your eye. Obviously the needle's very short. It's not going to puncture the eye or anything like that. The teacher, my coworker volunteered. He wanted to take a selfie with all the needles in his face, which he did. But we put that needle there. It looked fine. Everything was good. It's when we went to take it out, I had obviously hit a blood vessel, which on the face, you're going to hit superficial blood vessels. Obviously anything around the eye is just going to pocket and pool blood. So we pulled it out. It bled just a little bit, took a little cotton swab or whatever and, put some pressure on it. But ooh, sorry, I just hit my coffee table. It did swell up a little bit. So he had this like big, kind of looked like a mosquito bite. And then I walked into work and I was like, how's your eye? And he was like, you gave me a black eye. And so he told every single patient he had the day, he goes, see that girl over there? Yeah, she did this to me. Which I really didn't care. I was like, that's what happens when you get on my bad side. So we just made a joke out of it all day. He's totally fine, by the way. Like nothing, no adverse effects, just a little bit of bruising, which can happen if you hit a blood vessel. So, like I said, you can't map all those out on the face. And if you do, it's going to be different from one person to the next. It is what it is. So 11, 12 minutes in here and we're going to get into some stitching stuff. So I have more finishes today to show you than I will probably ever have again in my life, which is a lie. I'll show you more, but probably not as many as I will show you in one video. So we're going to start with whips first and save the finishes for last. So my first whip is Lady of Mystery by Mirabilia. I call her Lysandra. If you haven't read Throne of Glass, go read it. It's awesome, by Sarah Moss. I know Michelle Benny Stitchy, I think is through book 4. And I really want her to read book 5 and book 6. It's really book 5 and book 5.5, because book 5 and book 6 take place at the same time, but it's in 2 different places following 2 different storylines, if that makes sense. Both are amazing though. I love this one. And she reminds me of one of the characters in the book. So this is on 32 count Lugana in Pearl Gray from Silk Weavers. I don't know how to insert pictures from the last time you saw her, which would have been my very first video because I haven't worked on her in a while. But this is where she's at. And I can kind of show you what I did. So pretty much right in through here, anything down. Whew, sorry, that's folding. There we go. Anything from like here down has been filled in, which is, sorry, keep hitting my table. Quite a bit of stitching. The one thing I will say about this thread, it is one of those DMC threads that lay beautifully. I don't have any issues with it. So, no knots, no nothing on the back. It looks good. Yeah, I can, 915 maybe? 915, that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, this one just lays perfectly. So, that's the first one. She's looking good. Still got a ton of dress on the bottom. From there, it just like shoots out. Crazy. So, I do have enough room. I've counted the rows. It doesn't look like it, but I do. I have plenty of room. That's whip number 1. Whip number 2, I started after I finish. You know her, you know her. This is the one I get most comments on. Day of the Dead, artwork by Maria Demova. It is actually, if you want to find it on Etsy, it's now under 447 shades of X Stitch. I'll link it below. I'll link it below in the comment box. That way, if you want to find this chart, you can get it. And went on her page recently and she is using my pictures from Instagram to kind of highlight and show you what the chart looks like, which is nice. But she has two different versions of this one now. So she has one that uses a certain number of colors and then one that uses more. The one that I am using is just like the lower number of colors. 80, I think it's like 80 some. 78, it says right there. 78 DMC colors. I think there's one that she created that uses like 120 something. Which is actually where my pictures is. So it's a little mismatched, but totally cool with that. So I don't mind my cross stitch being displayed. So I have not done much since I've shown you this last. I've been working on some other projects. I'm still on track to get my 2 pages done for April. So I am working down on the last page. There we go. So all of this here is 310. So it's just fill-in. I've been working on it, mainly the fill-in. I started it late Saturday night. I got like maybe 50 stitches in Saturday night after I finished another project. Sunday I was at my class, and then I finished up the rest of the colors in the block, which those little dots again have, you know, 10, 15 colors or so. So those take a little bit of time just because you're constantly changing thread out. But then started Monday, or actually I probably started Sunday. Did like 2 or 3 rows and then have just been working in. I'm probably more than halfway at this point down the page. I don't remember where it stopped. It's like somewhere right in here. I know right where it's at if I can find the blue. There's one like dot of 939. I can kind of see a little bit of blocking lines, but like from here down, all 310. So this is going to be easy to finish, and then I will go back up top and work in the 3rd column. So once I get this page done, she'll be about 40% of the way complete. And my goal is to have her done by the end of the year. Technically it should be November with my 2 pages a month. So there's a total of 5 columns. And I'm almost done with column 2. Day of the Dead. I need a name for her. Any suggestions? Let me know in the box below. All right, let's do finishes. Sorry, trying to keep everything somewhat organized. So I actually have 2 of these done. You saw all the stitching done on this one last time. I finished it after my last video that night with the beading. And then I went to another project. Once I finished that project, I came back and I did this one. This one literally took me a week. These are super fast, super quick. I have everything to finish them, but again, I just haven't had time. So I will probably finish the April one first, so maybe I can get it to hang up for at least the last half of the month. And then I'm going to just skip ahead to plans here. My plan is to finish my 2 pages on that and then start May. Sneak peek right there. That way, hopefully, I can get ahead of them and get May done. So I'll show you March first because you've seen this one before. So this is March. I did change out this green here. It was supposed to be 772 and I changed it to 703 just in case you're interested. Everything else is pretty much called for. I did change the beads to Mill Hill Magnifica because they just fit a little bit better on the page, on the fabric, because this is 36 count smoky blue linen. I got it off of 123 Stitch a while ago for a different project that I didn't end up using it for. So there's March, super cute. And here's April. On this one, I did use the regular seed beads for these lines. The white where they were kind of bunched together, I again went with the Magnifica beads that I had used for this one. So this one was super fast to stitch, super fast. So obviously I decided to leave the borders off. Obviously I stitched in a hoop because I got some nice hoop rings, so I need to iron these, and then I plan to do little flat finishes, probably this, and then another one with just some fabric, so it's kind of bordered, and then I have some like flower picks to put with it on a little clipboard frame that I got from Michael's. So there are my first two completed Brooke's Books birthday cakes. These are free patterns, by the way. Again, I will link them below in the box. That way if you're interested and you want to find them. So these are the first three. So there's 4 sets of them. They're free on craftsy.com. So you can go get them for yourself. They're pretty easy, quick stitches. All right, and then my other finish from Just Cross Stitch Magazine, April 2016. I finished my spring chalkboard, Seasons in Chalk, from Cathy Habermann at Hands On Design, and chalkboard designed by Priscilla Blain, who we all know and love. So once I got started on this one, I just cranked it out. And here it is. Isn't that pretty? This is on 32 count slate linen hand dyed by Stephanie. I am waiting on, I think I ordered 4 more pieces of this, so I can at least do the ones that I'm for sure doing from the magazine series. And then I still haven't decided. I'm also waiting on fabric for another project, Skeleton Crew, from her as well. So I did run out of floss on this one. So the pink in here is Gentle Art Tea Rose. Obviously you can see I have none left. The magazine, only 1 skein. That did not cut it for me. Thankfully, I mean, you can't tell, can you? Can you tell where I ran out of thread? Ran out of floss? No. So what I actually did was I took 36, I saved it for myself, 3688 DMC. Let me just pull it out here. I got my box right next to me, so I have to look at the side of my face. 3688, there it is. I mean, that is, woo, I'm gonna get real close to you here. I mean, that's pretty spot on. So what I ended up doing was, with my last length of Tea Rose, I took 1 thread, 1 strand from Tea Rose, 1 strand from DMC, blended them together so that it was not quite as like, sorry, I keep hitting my table. It's the best setup I got, people. So the S was the last thing I did with the pink. And I got to like here, and I had 1 length of floss left. And I was like, there's no way that it's going to get all of that, and it did not. So I actually ended up stitching it with the white, with like a fresh skein, to see how far I could potentially get, even though the white's a little bit thinner, and I didn't even get to like here. So I was like, there's no way. So I blended it, and it worked. I think there is just a little bit right at the end, like not even that whole little arch right there is just DMC. But again, you can't tell. It looks so good. I love this one. Obviously, I have not switched out my frames, which is probably why it's snowed like 4 times since my last video. Ohio, people, where the seasons are made up and the weather doesn't matter. Something like that. watch Drew carry. Whose line is it anyways? He does a great little thing. All right. So that's everything I've worked on, which is quite a bit in 2.5 weeks. 3 finishes, some solid progress on 2 other big projects. I'm quite happy with myself. This is my therapist wine glass. I don't know if you can tell what that says, but I'm a therapist, so I need a therapist wine glass. And just so you know, I'm not drinking that straight. It's straight Chardonnay. I'm a sweet girl. I have it mixed with a little lemon lime, sparkling water. Just take the bite out of it. All right. I did get some stitchy mail. Made me really, really excited. So Angela, Gibbs Girl Stitches. I hope I'm saying that right, Angela. I'm sorry. I obviously blank when I'm on camera. And I don't write anything down because you guys know I don't prepare. She had messaged me and asked if it would be okay if she had my address to send me something. And I, of course, said yes. So I got this cute little card in the mail. Very, very pretty. And she wrote a sweet little note. And she sent me some wonderful goodies, which I have broken the cardinal Flosstube rule and I've already been using. But I put it all back pretty much how it was to act like I didn't, even though I'm telling you that I did. So the first thing, look at this needle minder. Focus. She's super cute. Get my face out of the way, maybe it'll focus. No? Okay. There we go. Put my face back in and it focuses. So obviously you guys know which project this is on. She's darling. I love her. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And she also made me a grind guard. So this is for an 8x8 Q-snap. I don't use Q-snaps. I bought one from Michael's and I thought it was garbage. I should probably get a real Q-snap and try it. But I do stitch two-handed with, again, a crap stand from Michael's. But it works pretty well for me. I've gotten it figured out. The Q-snaps don't fit in this type of frame. It's too heavy for it. So I just use a hoop, which I've always used, and I've switched from the wood to the plastic. I think the plastic ones hold tension a little bit better. But this fits really well, surprisingly, around my 10-inch hoop. And I'm able to stuff all the fabric in for my Day of the Dead piece. So I think anything else will be just as good. And then the last thing she sent me was 2 skeins of Mosales Blue Lagoon. Look how cool that is. I love it. I don't think I have, oh, I do have a piece of plain paper. Cool blue to green. Love it. She must know I love my blues. Thank you, Angela. You are the best. If you're not following her, I don't think she has a Flosstube. She does follow people. But she definitely does have an Instagram. You should go follow her. She's doing some cool things. All right, obviously I don't know what I'm doing. And of course I had some purchases. So I did go to Hobby Lobby. And I only bought one chart from the great clearance at Hobby Lobby, which is one that I had actually pinned on my Pinterest page like a year or 2 ago. I liked the kit, I liked the pattern, and I couldn't find it, / was too cheap to pay for it on Amazon. It is what it is. But I got it on clearance. So it was good that I didn't buy it then. And it is this. Be Still. It's a Priscilla plaid kit. Now, this being said, it's a kit. I will probably not use anything out of this kit other than the pattern. So turn down your volume if you're using earphones, because I'm going to open this, so it's going to be crinkly, because I didn't think I had for this one. But everything else I did. It's not this one. So I mean, it comes with pretty much everything you need in the kit. It comes with the floss. The colors here, to me, don't really match the colors on here. So I might just change some of them out so that I get a more accurate color representation of what's on the picture. These are dark. They're really dark. I also have no idea which one's which. Because there's a light teal and a dark teal and a light gold and a dark gold. So that's the first issue with this kit. The second issue or thing that I will be changing, I love Aida, guys. My Day of the Dead piece is stitched on 18 count Aida. I've done several things on Aida. I don't dislike Aida, but I do dislike this. Like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like, this Aida is so stiff. I know I can wash it and get some of the starchy stuff out of it. I'm not using this. So eventually, if I ever finish this piece, someone is going to get basically a full kit, because I'm going to change out the fabric. I'm going to change out the threads and call it a day. Yeah, ugh. It's like hurting my hands. Kit Aida is just not good. If you do get good kit Aida, let me know, but I've never really had that great experiences with kit Aida. And then the actual chart. I'm going to show you the backside because rules. Look how big this is. Like, this is ridiculous. I might just show you a small little corner. Trying to really avoid it. This is giant. Like, I could read this from across my couch. That's how big the symbols and stuff are. Which is nice. But I also feel like they could have condensed it down just a little bit. And the other big thing is, now, again, I'm just going to show you a little corner. There are symbols on the chart. Here's the symbol guide. So, you know, we got the back stitching for the French knots. Got some different, you know, symbols and whatnot. Do you recognize any of those symbols for the straight cross stitching? There are none. It literally just says, please refer to stitch diagrams. Now, if you go onto like Amazon and read the reviews for this kit, like 90% of the kits came like this. I think they just left out the symbols. So I think there's one or two pictures where they actually take a picture of the symbol that it's supposed to be. But again, like I said, if I'm going to change the colors, I'm probably just going to kind of look and see, like, this symbol, I'm going to use this color. So not the end of the world, but you should probably proofread that before you send them all out like that. All right. And then my BFF Steph messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey girl, hey. That's not how we talk, but it is how we talk. I'm dropping everything here. McKenna is helping the attic out and going through their clearance bins. And I know you bake, and they had all the Country Cottage needlework cakes on clearance. So she invited me to the group so that I could snag all those up, and I, of course, did. Super excited about these. Have no idea where I'm going to put them in my kitchen because there's like no wall space left as I look over there to see if magically there's some wall space that appeared. But I'll find somewhere to put them. Don't worry. It'll look cluttered, but that's just fine. So, I mean, these are $14 patterns, and I got them for $2.80. It's a steal, people. Steal. Now, I watched McKenna's live video on Facebook last night. She was going through some more things. I didn't buy anything. I just was a lurker, but man, it was good to watch people spend money when you're not spending money and when you know they're getting the chart for a really good price. So if you haven't gone to find that group yet, you should. I've already seen like 3 Facebook notifications. I think McKenna's posting things right now. So I'm gonna have to go take a look and see what new things she has on the page for us. But these are the ones that I got. I got carrot cake. Super cute. This one's probably my favorite. Blueberry. Sorry, I'm holding my wrist so funny. There it goes. Lemon. Now I can't see what I'm doing. This one I might stitch for my friend as well. She loves yellow, and this would look really cute in her kitchen. So I might stitch that one twice. We got lime. Again, super cute. And cherry. So, bargain. I've seen these before. I've liked them. I couldn't pass up that price. So, that's what I got. All right. This is the moment you guys have all been waiting for. Giveaway for this Rosewood Manor Phoebe Warner quilt chart. The Rae Dunn Sip mug. Skeins of DMC, all in blues and grays, my favorites. Bow and needles, size 26, I think is what I got you. Yep, 26. And then there's a few more goodies, but I also told you I was going to give you a needle minder. And I showed you that cute little bee. Here's the thing with the bee. It worked as a needle minder. It worked actually surprisingly well. And then I dropped the needle minder and the eyes on the bee broke off. I could have given it to you. It really wasn't that bad. Only one of the eyes broke off, but it would not stay on glued. I didn't feel right giving a half-broken bee to somebody. So I went to Michael's and I picked out some new charms. And I will make one of these into a needle minder for you. There's only one that I don't think will work as a needle minder. So I'm just going to show them to you now, and then whoever wins, obviously we'll have a conversation and I'll make that and make sure it's good before I send it to you. And I won't drop it this time, although these ones I don't think will break. So first option is this little starfish. You're going to see I like sparkly things if you haven't picked up on that already with some of my other needle minders. This little flower motif. Woo! Sorry. So that's option 2. And then I'm covering the one that really won't work. But there's 2 options on this page. So you got a little anchor with some sparklies or a little compass rose. I like that one. So I will make one of those into a needle minder for you. But we are going to do the giveaway. So I literally just went through comments today. So even if you commented today, Amber, I know you commented and you're like, oh darn, I'm late. I added you to the list because it's 8:30 and you commented before I made this video. So I say that's fair game. I may have said the 10th, the night before, midnight. Let's be honest. I did it right before I made the video. So you're included. Now I'm not sure how good your odds are. It's random number generator, so it could be the very last one, Amber, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen for you. But you are included. So the question you had to answer in the comments below was which cupcake recipe you wanted. Red velvet, wedding cake, Andy's mint, or a chocolate chip cookie dough. So I will send that recipe to you as well with all the stitchy goodies, and I have some of my other favorite things that some other little random kindness goodies to throw into the box as well when you get that. So, I think I'm going to stop the video here and then attach the video at the end. That way you know it's legit, that I'm not cheating, and just giving it to who I want to give it to. So thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. I love getting comments. I know I'm really bad about responding to them. I need to get into a better habit. I normally like to do it right before I go and do my next video, just because then if there's a question or something, it's fresh in my mind. So if you do have any other questions, anything you just want to tell me, put it in the box below. Same thing, you know, on Instagram. If you have a comment, you know, you can always comment on one of my posts. You can always message me. I normally respond pretty much better to those than I do comments here. I will get to your comment. It just might be a little bit later than like a week or two later. Sorry, not sorry. You guys notice my face getting more and more red as I drink the wine? I actually already had a glass of wine at my cake decorating thing tonight. I'm in charge of the wine next week. Someone else brought it this week. But yeah, so thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, subscribe below. I try and do my videos every 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully a little bit on the sooner side this next time, so my video is not quite as long. Again, if you have anything that you want to talk about, hit me up. I like to talk, as you can see, because I ramble. Sorry, my computer keeps turning off. All right, so that's it for now. I will see you next time, and stay tuned for the giveaway. Thanks, guys. Bye. And here on Google with their random number generator, I have put in, they were told of 65 entries. I put in, where's my mouse? There it is. 1 as the min, max is 65. And we are going to hit generate here. This is the number that it came up with, 1 to 10. So we're going to hit generate and get our number. Number 35. All right, so we're going to go down, switch over here. Number 35. I literally can't do this and look at my screen. Mel, the Rocky Mountain Stitcher. She actually gave me 2 options. I knew that was going to happen. I might give you 1. I might give you 2, Mel. And I know you said that you were going to shout me out, so I might just give you 2. I haven't gone back to watch your video yet. I commented on that earlier, but I definitely will. So congrats, Mel. I will comment on your comment and let you know you won, and have you email me your address so I can get you all your goodies. Congratulations. Thanks everyone who entered. I will see you guys later. Bye.